Hello and welcome back to another video. We have yet again another new event with another step up spawn, and TLDR, she's pretty mid, but she is like very niche. So she can still see some use, but not a lot of use, though, unfortunately. So Nagi is going to be a monster that has Bureau Eclipse. Bureau Eclipse is a very nice anti-field, which does increase your overall damage output if it's not intercepted. When you do hard PvE quests, your field is usually going to be intercepted, especially your anti-field. So you're not going to get a lot of value out of this, but it's still a good field, so it's still worth mentioning because it's going to be her main thing. As for her other effects, her time slice is going to be 90 seconds. So time slice can be very useful in any situation. So if a boss does give themselves something like an aura, or they give themselves like very strong buffs, then you can use the time slice to lower the duration of their buffs so that they eventually run out quicker. You can also remove them with karma and a buff removal. Karma will help stop them from buffing themselves once, as long as they don't have some sort of like buff removal resistance. So the karma will help a lot. This can also be used in PvP, I guess, but like it's not gonna do much in PvP because the meta in PvP is like monsters like Pandora, where they will more than likely one tap the enemy side. So you're not gonna see her in PvP, that's for sure. She does have Absolute and the new Dark Valk bubble that came out recently. So this bubble is very good for DPS, and Absolute is very good effect. However, just this alone does not really make her worth spawning for. She does have Team Twilight on her second pot, but if you're only spawning for her for the Absolute and the Team Twilight, then you may as well just skip, because you can easily get these effects from something like Minty. Minty gives you concentration, Team Twilight, Team Frenzy, and the Wind Qualia. And if you want the Absolute, you can just use Wind Valk from 2 years ago. Wind Valk has Absolute, Elevation, Team Kaijin, and all step buff limit increase. Bonus is a greater counter heal or survivability. So to be honest, she's just not that good, and I would consider skipping this one entirely. The defense gears are going to be the Noble series, and Noble is a very good weapon proc, weapon scaling proc, since it scales with other weapons of the same type. And the proc rate is going to be high, but it can also interfere with other good weapon procs like the Dragon Slayers, Obliterating, Triumph. It can interfere since those elemental procs will have high proc rate, and this weapon having high proc rate as well can also interfere of having your better procs not proc, because this one took its place. So only use these weapons as like filler, because that's what they're made for. But if you do get them, they're pretty decent. And for the defense gears, we have a new opening. So this opening is going to be giving you concentration, regen, and reflect. And it's very situational compared to other openings. Well, the other only opening that we got recently had dual attack and resurrection in one, which was like very good because you can use those effects in any situation: PvE, hard PvE, BB, hollow, anything. So this one can be used in PvE if you're struggling to survive at the start of a quest. And to be honest, I see that as a non-issue because nowadays a lot of defense gears have either L plus proc rate, XL proc rate. They usually have some sort of null that can reduce the ability power of damage. They have some guard type effects for damage reduction. Like, they have a lot of variation for defense gears, and there's a lot of them that are very good. So having these can be useful for something like PvP, where you're usually going to be running some sort of elemental null. And to be honest, I just don't see I don't see it worth pulling for because again they're very situational. But when compared to other effects like the constants that we saw with Christmas Minazuki, where it was reflect reduction 3XL plus heal up, that's something that I would consider pulling because the reflect reduction is very strong and the heal up is very useful in quests that spam heal down. When you have heal up as one of your constants and you have max heal down, that heal up is going to be helping you because you can still receive healing or you can also heal with mend if you have it equipped. But if you don't have that kind of constant, you have zero heal ups, then you're going to be healing for zero because you don't have any HP recovery effects. And how HP recovery effects work is that you can't really cleanse them if you have heal down, but you can increase the value. So there are monsters that increase the HP recovery effects, but it's better if you just increase them or like have a constant instead of having to rely on other monsters to increase your heal up. That's why that type of constant was very worth pulling for if you were able to get it. And that's why I pulled for it because I found it very, very useful. Same with the reflect reduction because the other types of reflect reduction that we had are like very, very low cost. And them making a higher cost reflect reduction was very, very nice to have. Same and with the dual attack and resurrection opener, the same thing applies. They're a very good opener, and you gotta keep in mind these openers only work at the start of the quest. So you only really need one of these for a quest. You can run two of these specifically because they're classified as defense opening skill. So you can have two of this type of opening running at the same time. But you don't want to run too many openings because you will lose out on space for better procs. That's why you only really need like two openers at most, depending on the quest. And for GB, that is entirely up to you what to run, entirely up to your guild. Like, all of that is up to your guild. So, I don't think that these openers are like super crazy good. They're okay at best, but they're just a bonus if you end up getting them from the spawn itself. And if we look at the steps, we can see that step 2 and step 4 are 0 gems. And this is the second iteration of this format where we did see it present in the cosmetic design monster step up, where it had Mika and Durg. And Mika was designed by one of my guildmates, Saki, and Mika was also blessed to have a very, very good kit. And I wasn't able to get her, unfortunately, because I didn't have DD gems to get her. But this format was present during that time, and basically they're just giving you 2 free spawns that can guarantee you like a decent monster, I guess, and maybe even a good piece of gear. Since it's guaranteed to be the on-banner gear, you have a chance at getting the monster too, or getting the opener and weapons. And the last 3 steps are very, very generic, just newly added defense gear, newly added weapon, and newly added monster. So for 200 gems, you can do the spawn. I don't recommend it. On to the next one. We have the Lunar New Year's step up spawns, and I'll be really, really quick with this one. It's not worth it. You're getting scammed for 30 gems. You get a drop of Wither, which is really cool, I guess, but like, not worth it. On to the next one. So, in this event, we had the release of the Eidolon Trials, or the light one, and you are only able to use dark monsters only. So, this one is only going to be having dark gear. And some of the more notable mons you can get are Dark Valk, Summer Aphrodite, Rogue, and Saya. Alice does have Dark Qualia, but Alice herself isn't that great, and Saya can get rid of the ordeal very, very easily because she does do both types of damage, physical and magical damage, which are required to get rid of the ordeal. So Saya can easily clear it. Dark Valk will be giving you a lot of buffs. Summer Aphrodite can give you Vital Strike and Absolute if you unlock her potential, and Rogue can also help you to survive if you need to fortify. As for the selection, this only has dark gear again, but if you look at the spawnable gear, you can see that the lowest you can get is 37 cost. And this spawn is already very weight because this spawn is already very weight because spawns like this are usually going to be giving you the worst possible options. That's why it's recommended to never do these types of selections, especially that none of these weapon procs are like very special, like sort of the time to swing, zenith. Like these are already very bad, so you don't need to do the spawn. There is an option for the monster for 30 gems, but the monster are even more weight, where you can also have a chance at getting 36 cost SSR. So I don't recommend it, but I ended up getting lucky, but that doesn't mean that you should do it. So Summer Afro is the best that you can get. You can also get Alice, Rogue, I think. Avery is one of them as well. Again, I don't recommend doing these spawns because there is no rush to clear the Eidolon trials. They're gonna be permanent, and if you're just not ready for them, that's perfectly fine. You can just keep playing the game and just improve your sets over time. I may make a video dedicated to see how hard they actually are, because if you don't have crest for this one in particular, then you're kind of screwed, because your ally field is going to be intercepted for the entirety of the quest. So I think that's about it for this video though. If you found this helpful or informative, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe. Discord link in the description down below, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Thanks for watching.